Hi guys, how you doing? So today in this video, I'm gonna talk about IELTS writing paper and some important points that you should consider and some mistakes that most of you tend to do in IELTS writing. I have often heard the people say, I did my paper well, I wrote well, but I don't know what went wrong, but I didn't get what I expected. So here you go. There are some major mistakes that we all tend to neglect. Now remember, there can be errors in your writing paper. There can be occasional errors. So the examiner would identify them as pen slips. So it's not that you can't do any error in the paper, but there can be major mistakes that you neglect and will definitely lower your IELTS score. So let's get started. So the first one I'm going to talk about is relevancy. Your ideas and your examples should directly relate to the topic. Use examples and ideas that you're familiar with. Make sure you don't produce a memorized essay or memorized examples. If you do so, the examiner will identify it. He or she will know that you have written a memorized essay and altered it according to the given topic. So it is really important that you write an authentic essay with genuine examples. And the other thing is, when you are introducing your examples, use different ways. For example, for instance, to illustrate, the evidence suggests that. Second one is answer all parts of the question. When you are reading the question, underline the key ideas or key words so that you will not miss any part of the question. Read the question carefully and decide how many parts are there to be answered. And also present your idea throughout the essay. Don't waver. If you give your belief or your opinion or where you are standing in this argument in the introduction, continue it until the end of the essay. If you are asked to present both views, make sure you explain both views by giving equal importance, and watch for plurals. If you are asked to write advantages, disadvantages, or reasons, give at least 2 for each. And remember to write more than 250 words. You have only 20 minutes for task 2, so make sure you use that time wisely. And make sure you include an introduction and a conclusion and complete your essay within that given time. The third one is organize your essay logically by using linking phrases. Just because you know that you have to use linkers, don't overuse them or don't use them in an appropriate manner. Sometimes linkers may have similar meaning, but still it has its own purpose. So identify its purpose and use it correctly. For example, furthermore and moreover may seem alike, but they are not. They are quite different. You should identify where to use moreover and when to use furthermore. And also make sure your ideas are interconnected. Don't keep any idea in isolation. Your ideas should be connected. And another thing, don't use single linkers. Use adverbial phrases. Adverbial phrases are better than single linkers. To be cared for, close down, make money, a chance to see, looked after. So make sure you use adverbial phrases as well. Use referencing and substitution to avoid repetition. This is another important aspect in IELTS writing. I personally believe that I should not use main words or keywords more than thrice in my essay, unless I really have to do so. So it is really important to use synonyms. But remember, Synonyms, even though have a similar meaning, the meaning can differ from context to context. So just because it is a synonym, it doesn't mean that it will convey the same idea that you want to convey in your essay. For example, adolescent and teenager are synonyms and you can use them interchangeably. But baby and toddler are quite different. You can't use them to convey the same meaning at all the time. So remember, if you choose a synonym, the meaning must be the same and must not alter the idea being presented in your essay. The next important thing is paragraphing. Organize your essay into paragraphs. And remember, visual impact of your paragraphing also important. Present only one idea in one paragraph. By reading the question before answer, decide how many paragraphs you are going to write. And in your paragraphs, as I told you earlier, don't forget to include introduction and conclusion. Otherwise, you will not be able to get a good score in writing. Make sure all your paragraphs are interconnected and written in a sequential manner. Flow of the essay should be maintained at all the time. Now the interesting thing is, don't use old-fashioned English words or don't use too common words in writing. For example, maybe you have heard that you should use the words like plethora, but it is not the case. Don't use such words which are old-fashioned or uncommon, or we are not using in a usual writing. Yes, your words should reflect academic writing. It should reflect standardized notion of English, but still don't use old-fashioned English or too common words like very, bad, good. Find alternative words. Another thing is usage of collocation. Using collocation also important in writing. What is collocation? Collocation means a group of two or more words that are almost always put together to convey a specific meaning in a more meaningful way. When doing household chores, you make the bed and you do the dishes. But we never say, I do the bed and make the dishes. Let's look at another example. We experience heavy showers and strong winds. But we don't usually say we experience strong showers and heavy winds. So that's wrong collocation. Another example. I have high temperature, so I sat with a tall glass of water. High temperature, tall glass of water. High and tall are synonyms or have similar meaning. But we never say, I have tall temperature, so I sat with a high glass of water. So you got it? That's wrong collocation. Another important thing is using idiomatic language. Using idiomatic language may be important because you can show that you know various types of sentences. But don't overuse idioms, proverbs, or clichés that we use in speaking. Another way to show that you know a variety of sentences in English is to use complex sentences and compound sentences. But remember, just because you know that you have to use complex sentences, don't use complicated complex sentences. Don't put all the ideas in one sentence and make a one big paragraph. That's not what you should do. Write complex sentences, but in a correct way. What about punctuation, articles, and capitalization? They are equally important. So know your punctuation, know when to use capital letters, and know your articles. And another thing, single words and two-worded words. Classroom. Is it one word or two words? It's one word. What about download? It's one word, download. Even though? Two words. So know your words, your vocabulary. That is really important. Make sure you use vocabulary related to the given topic. It is very important. For example, if the government invests funds in implementing environmentally friendly solutions, pollution in the atmosphere will be reduced. Or you can simply say, the government gives money to reduce pollution. Both are correct, but the first one is more elaborative, and also it contains collocation and vocabulary related to the topic. Thank you very much for joining with me today. I'm pretty sure you learned something new. So let's meet in the next video.